What happens when Caitlin Clark swaps her sneakers for golf spikes and brings two of her Fever teammates along to carry her clubs? Yeah, you get one of the most unexpected, hilarious, and heartwarming moments of the off-season. This isn't just another WNBA player swinging a golf club. This is a full-on Indiana Fever takeover at the Anakah Pro-Am Tournament, led by none other than Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexie Hull. Caitlin Clark showing up with that calm confidence, the same swagger she brings to the hardwood.
That's a positive thing. It's the Anakah tournament, which she played in last year. But this year is a little bit different, so let's take a look at all the clips from this so far. Jesus, it's pretty packed with her just on the practice range.
Had fans buzzing before she even teed off, but then the cameras panned and everyone's jaws dropped. Standing right beside her, rocking Indiana Fever gear like it was game day, Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull. Not as teammates, not as spectators, but as her caddies. The crowd lost it. Social media exploded. The WNBA world couldn't believe what they were seeing. Two pros trading basketballs for golf bags, cheering Caitlin on like proud teammates and best friends.
But going straight away. Getting ready to start, and then obviously you've got two of her teammates in Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull acting as her caddies, and this is brilliant. This is hilarious for me. It's like they're walking around with a caddy outfit that is Indiana Fever. That is Indiana Fever. But yeah, it's a good thing to see, you know, the players together.
It was one of those crossover moments that perfectly captures why Caitlin Clark has become a generational star. She brings people together, whether it's under bright arena lights or out on a quiet golf green. And for Sophie and Lexie, their playful banter, their matching outfits, and their genuine excitement reminded fans why this Fever roster has become so easy to root for. Even in the off-season, they're showing chemistry, humor, and pure love for the game, any game. But underneath the laughs and the viral clips lies a deeper question.
Yeah, I don't see Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham. Well, Lexie Hull plays golf. I don't think Sophie Cunningham has any idea about golf. She's any idea.
Caitlin!
Okay, she's teeing off. Let's see.
Clark!
Woo! Do the Happy Gilmore. Run into it.
What does this say about the state of the Indiana Fever? Are these lighthearted moments proof that this team is building something special off the court, or just a rare escape from the tension surrounding the offseason and looming league talks? We're breaking it all down. The vibe, the chemistry, the deeper meaning. Right here on Her Hoops. If you're ready to see how one golf event might have revealed everything about Caitlin Clark's leadership and this Fever team's future, stay tuned, because it's about to get interesting.
It's a good thing again, and this is something is it televised this year? I remember last year they literally televised it because so many Caitlin Clark fans asked them to, that they televised the event. And look, if we're being honest, it's not what it once was, but there are still people out here. I wonder who was playing the Pro-Am. You've got a dad with what is probably his daughter or a relative. You've got people wearing denim jackets with Caitlin Clark Fever. You've got someone in a Stranger Things Caitlin Clark jersey.
Let's rewind for a second, because this isn't Caitlin Clark's first time on the golf course. Last year, she made waves when she teed off at the same Anakah Pro-Am, surprising everyone with a swing nearly as sharp as her three-point shot. But this year felt different. When Caitlin stepped back onto the course, fans could tell she wasn't just there for fun. She was making a statement. After a grueling rookie season with the Indiana Fever, full of spotlight pressure, media chaos, and constant comparisons,
shit, that's a kind of crazy thing to think about, that it has been 120 days since Caitlin Clark has played a sport. And then obviously, look, we're not far off in general. We're not far off on Rivals being a thing. Like, Unrivaled's probably going to be a thing at some stage. We're not that far off it. But
Clark, showing up smiling, confident, and surrounded by teammates, said one thing loud and clear: she's at peace, she's growing, she's grounded, and she's bringing her teammates along for the ride. And who better than Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull? Both players have been through their share of ups and downs, injuries, trade rumors, and questions about team chemistry. So seeing them together, joking around and acting as Caitlin's caddies, wasn't just funny, it was symbolic. These women weren't just teammates doing a PR appearance, they were showing the world that the Fever's bond runs deeper than basketball. Fans caught glimpses of their laughter between holes, Sophie pretending to coach Caitlin on her swing, and Lexie handing her clubs with mock seriousness. It felt like watching a team that genuinely likes each other, and in a league where chemistry can make or break a season, that matters more than most realize. Even more surprising? The amount of Fever gear flooding the course, jerseys, hats, posters. Indiana fans showed up like it was game day. And in that moment, Caitlin wasn't just an athlete, she was a symbol of hope for a franchise and a fan base craving something special. But not everyone was convinced this was all fun and games. Behind the smiles, there's a storm brewing, with contract uncertainties, off-season lockout whispers, and speculation about what's next for players like Sophie Cunningham. So, is this display of unity genuine, or a perfectly timed illusion before major changes hit the Fever roster? Let's dig into that next. Now let's break this down, because what we saw at that golf tournament was more than just a friendly outing. It was a message. Caitlin Clark isn't just any rookie anymore. She's the face of a franchise, and arguably the face of the entire WNBA. Her presence turns a charity golf event into a viral moment overnight. But what really caught everyone off guard wasn't just Caitlin's swing, it was her support system. Seeing Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull by her side wasn't random. It was strategic, symbolic, and maybe even a little bit defiant. Think about it. The Indiana Fever's offseason has been full of rumors, trade talks, locker room whispers, debates about who's staying, who's leaving, and whether this team can really build around Caitlin. Yet here they were, three of the most talked about names on the roster, standing shoulder to shoulder, laughing, and showing a united front. That's not coincidence. That's intentional. When Caitlin grinned and said, "Yeah, I brought my caddies," it wasn't just a lighthearted joke. It was her way of saying, "These are my people." The same energy she brings on the court, fiery, loyal, confident, was on full display on that golf course. And Sophie? She leaned into it, loud, funny, charismatic. The kind of presence that keeps a team loose when the spotlight gets hot. Lexie, on the other hand, brought balance, calm, focused, grounded. Together, they created this dynamic that fans could feel even through a camera lens. Social media ran wild with clips. Some fans called it the Fever off-season movie. Others said, "This is what makes Caitlin different. She doesn't isolate herself in fame, she includes people in it." But beneath the laughs and viral quotes, there's a quiet truth. Moments like this can define how a team moves forward. The trust built off the court often fuels success on it. Still, there's another layer here, because while the trio was all smiles on the fairway, not everything behind the scenes in Indiana is quite so carefree. Now here's where things get really interesting, because while fans were busy laughing at Sophie Cunningham carrying Caitlin Clark's golf bag, something much bigger was brewing beneath the surface. The truth is, not everything is sunshine and selfies in Indiana. Behind those smiles, the Fever have been walking a tightrope. Contract talks, team chemistry questions, and even quiet rumors about locker room tension have surrounded this team since the season ended. And the golf event? It might have been the first public test of how united this squad really is. Sophie Cunningham, in particular, has been the center of speculation. Reports have swirled about whether she'll remain with the Fever next season. Some fans even wondered if she'd already made up her mind to leave, that maybe her silence during team events was a clue. But then she shows up, in full Fever gear, carrying Caitlin Clark's bag, laughing, joking, posing for pictures. That's not just participation, that's recommitment. It's almost like Sophie was saying, without saying a word, "I'm still here, I still care." And for Lexie Hull, this was her redemption moment too. A player who's often overlooked in media coverage, Lexie's presence at Caitlin's side said a lot about her quiet influence. The kind of teammate who doesn't chase attention, but always shows up when it matters. But let's not forget what was hanging over all this: the looming WNBA lockout. Every player knows it, every fan feels it. And that's why this moment hit harder. Because when you've got uncertainty about contracts, about the league's future, and about your own next paycheck, showing up anywhere in your team's colors sends a powerful message. Her Hoops fans could feel that tension, that mix of joy and unease. This wasn't just golf, this was therapy. This was the Fever players reminding the world, and maybe themselves, that even through chaos, they can still laugh together, support each other, and keep the energy alive. But here's the twist. Some insiders think this was also a calculated move. That this show of unity was meant to silence critics before the off-season drama really kicks in. So which is it? Genuine friendship or strategic optics? Let's peel back that layer next. All right, let's go deeper, because this isn't just about golf clubs and smiles. This is about control of narrative. And Caitlin Clark? She's mastering it. Think about how many rookie athletes, especially women, have had their stories spun by others, the media, critics, even their own organizations. But Caitlin's doing something different. She's owning her image, shaping it around authenticity, confidence, and connection. The Anakah Golf Tournament wasn't just a fun off-season activity, it was a subtle piece of brand storytelling. She didn't show up with trainers or agents. She showed up with teammates. That's leadership. That's marketing genius. And that's why fans are so drawn to her. She makes every space she enters feel like a team huddle. Now, look at the details, because they tell the story. Caitlin's outfit wasn't flashy or designer. It was custom, comfortable, relatable. Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull wearing Fever gear wasn't an accident either. It was a reminder, this team isn't fractured, it's forming. Even as off-season negotiations continue, the optics screamed unity. And if you listen closely to the banter between the three, it says even more. Sophie cracking jokes about snacks in the golf bag. Lexie cheering Caitlin on like she was sinking a game winner. Caitlin laughing, relaxed, the kind of energy you only see when the trust is real. These aren't PR smiles, this is chemistry. But here's where it gets fascinating. These small, lighthearted moments often foreshadow big shifts. Teams that joke together usually fight harder together when the lights come back on. Caitlin may be young, but she's already showing an instinct for leadership. Not through fiery speeches, but through inclusion. By making her teammates part of her spotlight, she's sending a message to the entire league. The Fever aren't just building a roster, they're building a culture. And fans of her hoops, you know this, culture wins. Before championships, before fame, before anything. It's the chemistry that changes everything. Still, every good story has stakes, and this one's no different. Because while Caitlin's building unity off the court, the question remains, can that same energy survive the battles waiting on the court next season? Let's zoom out. Because this moment didn't just light up golf Twitter, it sent ripples through the entire WNBA. What Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexie Hull did that day wasn't just wholesome fun. It was a snapshot of what the league needs more of: personality, connection, humanity. For too long, women's sports have been boxed into narratives of just focus on the game. But what the Fever trio reminded everyone is that fans fall in love with people first. And Caitlin Clark knows that better than anyone. The WNBA has been battling for visibility, for consistent coverage, for equal respect, and suddenly, one golf tournament becomes a viral moment that grabs mainstream attention. News outlets, TikTok clips, Instagram reels, everyone wanted to talk about Caitlin's swing, Sophie's humor, and Lexie's calm presence. It wasn't just about golf, it was about vibes. It was about how authentic, funny, and likable these athletes are when they're simply being themselves. That authenticity matters, because it's what turns casual fans into loyal ones. You can't manufacture chemistry like that. You can't script Sophie joking, "You put snacks in here?" Or Caitlin telling her, "You look like you're about to play basketball." That's the kind of content that breaks the barrier between athlete and audience. And here's what it means for the WNBA. Players like Caitlin, Sophie, and Lexie are rewriting the playbook on what it means to connect. They're not waiting for the media to define them. They're showing up in their own way, through humor, authenticity, and friendship. Her Hoops followers saw it clearly. This wasn't a PR stunt. This was the next era of storytelling in women's basketball. When your stars can make a golf clip trend like a highlight reel, it proves one thing: the WNBA has the personalities, it just needs the platform. But with that visibility comes pressure. The Fever aren't just a basketball team anymore. They're carrying the weight of expectation, entertainment, and leadership for the league's future. And while these lighthearted moments are powerful, they also raise one big question. Can they keep that same unity once the cameras fade and the season heat returns? When Caitlin Clark teed up that first shot, you could almost feel the collective pause. The crowd waiting, the cameras focused, the tension mixed with excitement. And then boom, she swung, smiled, and turned that quiet moment into another viral chapter in her story. But this one wasn't just about her. It was about them. Sophie Cunningham, Lexie, two teammates who didn't need to show up, but did. Who didn't have to wear Fever colors, but did anyway. Who didn't stand beside Caitlin for publicity. They did it for connection. That's what makes this moment so powerful. It's not about golf. It's about sisterhood, loyalty, and what it really looks like when a young superstar lifts everyone around her. Because here's the truth, Caitlin Clark doesn't lead by shouting or commanding. She leads by inviting. She brings people into her spotlight instead of standing in it alone. That's rare. And for the Indiana Fever, a team fighting to redefine itself, that kind of energy could be their secret weapon. Every viral video, every laugh on that golf course, every Fever jersey spotted in the crowd, it all feeds into something bigger. The Fever aren't just rebuilding a team, they're rebuilding a culture. They're showing that being marketable doesn't mean being fake, that having fun doesn't mean losing focus. And when you zoom out, when you really think about it, this is what the WNBA's next era looks like. Players who can light up the court and the internet, who can build unity through moments that feel human, raw, and real. For Her Hoops, this isn't just a feel-good story, it's a turning point. Because while everyone else saw a golf outing, we saw leadership, we saw community. We saw what happens when women's basketball stops waiting for attention and creates it. So the next time someone says the offseason doesn't matter, show them this. Show them Caitlin Clark laughing with her teammates, Sophie's fearless energy, Lexie's steady calm, and the crowd roaring for a group of women simply enjoying the game. Because these moments, the ones that seem small, are what make legends feel human and make fans feel connected. Caitlin Clark is back. The Fever's bond is real. And if this golf course moment tells us anything, it's that this team isn't just preparing for another season, they're preparing for something bigger. This is Her Hoops, where we break down the moments that define women's basketball. If you love this story, hit that like, share, and subscribe button because we're just getting started. Her Hoops, where passion meets the game.